Okay, wonderful. Then I hit start webinar and here we go. Okay, welcome everybody. I see everyone flooding in here, so I'm so excited. We are going live on Facebook too. By any chance, should we wind up with over 1,000 people, which I don't think is going to happen. It is live streaming on Facebook for anyone who can't make it into the room. Please let us know in the chat as you're filling in, as per the norm, where you're coming from. I would also like to know how many of you attended the last PubSite demonstration. And I know we've received several emails this week from people saying, I saw the demo last time and went ahead and signed up with PubSite. So let us know if you're one of those people. And I'm going to give just about 30 more seconds because I know it takes a moment sometimes for everybody to be able to get into the webinar, and then we will get going. All right, we've got people from Canada, from Southern California, from lots of Canadians. I love this. Lots of people who've never, let us know if you've never heard of PubSite before. And I guess the other question I would ask is, do you already have a website, or if you don't, why not? That's a great question to ask. Okay, some housekeeping things. Just as a reminder, we have the chat box where everybody can put all of their comments if you want to chit chat throughout the conversation. But if you have a question, please specifically use the Q&A box so that we don't miss it at the end. The chat flows quickly. We don't want to miss your questions, so please use the Q&A box. All right, it is 1:01 p.m. Eastern. We are going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. This is our final webinar leading into the Women in Publishing Summit, which starts on Monday, and we are so excited. My name is Alexa Bigwarf, and I'm the host of the conference and the CEO of Write, Publish, Sell. And today I'm so pleased to bring you John and Fazia Burke, who are the creators and all the magnificence behind PubSite. And PubSite, they are going to do a demo and show you all about it. So I'm not going to try to explain the whole thing, except for to say that it is a magnificent tool if you are seeking to create a professional website as an author, where you can easily integrate your blog, your social media, your sales pages, all of those things in a way that is beautifully organized, professionally organized. And the best part is that it's very simple to do, and you don't have to hire a web designer, and you don't have to do all those things. So let me tell you a little bit about our guests today. Okay, so we have Fazia Burke, author of Online Marketing for Busy Authors, is the founder and president of FSB Associates, an online book publicity firm. Co-founder of PubSite, a platform for building author websites, and a consultant and coach for authors who need to help navigating the book marketing and publicity landscape. Before starting FSB, she worked for Henry Holt and John Wiley. Fazia has promoted books by authors such as Alan Alda, Ariana Huffington, Deepak Chopra, Melissa Francis, S.C. Gwynn, Mike Brzezinski, Charles Spencer, and many, many more. She is based in San Diego, California. John Burke is the co-founder of PubSite, an easy-to-use website building platform designed specifically for authors and books, and is COO of FSB Associates, a publicity firm specializing in promoting books and authors on the web. Burke worked for several publishers, including Crown, McGraw-Hill, Addison Wesley, and John Wiley, as well as in bookstores before joining FSB Associates to launch its website development efforts. Their first website, one of the first ever author sites on the web, was for Sue Grafton. I know that name. Since then, John has developed over 200 author websites ranging from one book to over 80. He is also based in San Diego, California. Okay, so one thing before I let you two take over that I want to highlight about that is that you two are not just website developers. You are extreme professionals in selling books and marketing books and in all of that. So not only does this create a tool where people can come to have a website, but it's designed by people who truly understand the tools that authors need to market their books. So that is really, really exciting.
Did you freeze for everybody or just me?
I know it's frozen. I can't see.
Am I frozen for everybody?
It's frozen.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can now.
You're
Yay,
frozen.
back.
Am I back? Okay.
Yes.
That's so weird because I don't understand. I'm plugged in, but the internet does crazy things there. So hopefully that didn't freeze. Hopefully you heard most of what I said, but in a nutshell, I said, it's very exciting to work with a website company that also has such a long and experienced background in working in book marketing and working with authors and working for bookstores and publishing houses. So this is really, really, really more than just a tool to help you build your website, because it's done with people who know and understand this world. So I'm going to kick it to you all two now, because that's
Yay.
why they're here.
Yeah. Thank you, Alexa. Thanks for having us back. You are awesome. And this community of yours, I have to say, kudos to you for building this amazing, amazing community. I've been really enjoying meeting everybody. And last time we had so much fun. So thank you for having us back.
Thank you.
As you said, John and I have decades of experience in book publishing.
They won't say
So,
how many decades.
yeah, let's not count how many decades, but many, many years doing book marketing and sales. And we've been obviously doing websites for many, many years also. And so when we decided to set up a pub site, it was really for just authors. We're not trying to find event planners and photographers and restaurants. This tool is for one purpose only, and it's for authors. So every decision we made, it wasn't sort of like, well, this could be good for so-and-so. And so it's our whole concept is that this is a platform for authors to make their life easier. When we work on publicity for books, I always tell authors, you need a website before I can even get started. And nowadays, authors even need websites before they've finished the book, because even agents and publishers want to see what your platform looks like. And so a lot of authors will ask me, well, how do I get started? I don't even have a book. How do I set up a website? And so one of the things that's really important for PubSite for us was that we wanted a tool that scales with you. So you don't design a site once and then never touch it, which happens to a lot of authors. They pay someone, or it was such a pain to set up the first website, they don't want to touch it because they could break it. But for us, PubSite is really a tool that you can change monthly, hourly. Don't do that, but you can. Certainly every time you have a new book. So you start off with a website that is for blogging, and then you add a new book, and then you add another book. It completely scales with you, whether you have no books or whether you have 50 books. So we wanted to show you what easy to use website builder could look like, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to turn it over to John, and then we'll answer all your questions. I'm going to keep an eye on the Q&A. All right, John, over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you for attending, everyone. It sounds like we have a really good crowd here, so appreciate that. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen, right, Alexa? Okay.
You should have access to that. Hopefully, no issues. There we go.
Okay, so you're seeing my screen now?
I sure am.
Okay, great. With our fiery orange Carlsbad sunrise one day. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this first real quickly. As was said, we did the Sue Grafton site back in 1996, the fall of 1996, when she was coming out with M. And it was one of the first author websites ever. And we still host and maintain her website. And these are the 4 iterations of the site. And it kind of shows a little evolution of website design in that, back in 1996, computer monitors showed very little. They were very narrow and showed only a small amount of pixels, as few as like 640. And then as we go to the second one, the website gets a little larger, is a little more colorful. And then here we did a lot more, again, wider for average screen size. And these folders were animated. They would kind of open up when you clicked on them. That was the Flash era of animation. And now the current website that we did about, 34 years now. And this is what's called responsive or mobile friendly. And I'll show you a little bit of that, but this will respond or resize to fit any screen, from the largest monitors down to the smallest phones. Move on here. Okay, so this is our PubSite website for signing up and promotional purposes. And what we actually use the PubSite platform to put this together. Instead of having book covers, we have screen captures of websites. And these are some of the websites that we've done. And when you go there, you'll see by category all of the different types of websites we've done. And not just we've done, in many cases, it's authors that come in and totally do it by themselves. Come in, sign up, set up the website, use their own domain name, and go off and running, and we rarely interact with them. For others, we help them, or even we have a package to do it for you. So to start off, you come here and you sign up for a free trial. It's a 14-day trial. You don't have to put in your credit card at this point. So if after 14 days, it's not for you, you just walk away and that's it. We are offering a special discount right now for this group. And instead of the $19.99 a month for hosting, you get a price of $14.99 a month for the first year. And that includes website hosting, all the various enhancements and updates. It also includes a free SSL security certificate, which is pretty much required now, and email support. So you get a lot for that monthly fee. So to sign up, you just go in here and you put whatever you want to put, your name, your book title. We usually advocate your name. We advocate that your domain name and your website should be under your name. And you can put anything you want in there. And so, for example, I would put John Burke, and then it would be johnburke.pubsitepro.com. That's a fully functioning domain name that you can use permanently. But many people, and we kind of recommend it, will get their own domain name. So you go to a domain name registrar like GoDaddy, which is the one we generally recommend, and get a registered domain name. It's usually in the ballpark of like $20 a year ongoing to register a domain name. Then you can use it on your website and we can help you set that up. That's what most people do. So then once you sign up, you just click here and you will be brought into what's called the admin. Okay, and this is your back end where you do everything. And it looks like a lot here, but we've really thoughtfully set this up. And essentially these tabs here are a workflow. So when you come in, you can get to items here we're using these buttons, but we usually advocate using these because it is a workflow. It sort of is the natural progression that you in putting your site together. So you first come in here and put in, again, whatever you want to call your website. Your name is usually going to be it, but if it's a book title, you would put that in there. That's what's going to be up at the top of your website. Then you move on to design. And we have many designs to choose from, as you can see here. And also they are very customizable, which I will show you. But these are some of the ones we have. We regularly add new ones. And the really nice thing about this is it just takes one click to change your design, use a different one. So for example, this is the one we're using here. It's a very basic one. So the website, the website will essentially look like this, very basic, but this is a very customizable theme. So that's why we like to use it for demos. Okay, so I'll show you here how you can change some of the look of it. You can click on customize, and this will show you the website, what it looks like right now. We have this, what we call a magic slider. So if you ever wanted to just change the color scheme of it, you can just use this and it will change the entire color scheme and everything will still match. So everything changes, the header, the menu, the buttons, the backgrounds, everything. Or you can go in here and it tells you which each color is. And then you can right click on it, or I'm sorry, just click on it and you can change it to very specific colors. So for example, if you have a color for your brand or logo or whatever, or your book cover, you can actually get the precise RGB color here. So that gives you a lot of flexibility on coloring. And that's just some of the color schemes. And then we also, I'm going to cancel out of this right now. And I'm going to show you, move on to putting some content into your site. I'm going to come back to the design to show you some more things about that, but let's get some content in the site. So the next tab you go to is authors. And here we've already entered an author with some information, but to add it yourself or a new author, and in PubSite, you can have multiple authors if you have co-authors, or if you're a small publisher, you can add every author you have. Everything in PubSite is form-based. So it's just like working in Microsoft Word. So in order to put a bio in, you would just either copy and paste here or start typing. And here's the photo. But what I'm going to do is go into this one that we've already worked on. So once you save the author, then it opens up to this. To add your photo or change your photo, you can just click here and either drag something into this window or click upload and go search your computer for the file. And again, here is the short bio, which appears in places like the home page with a read more button, and then the full bio, which can be as long as you want. Again, it's like working in Microsoft Word. So you can add, you can italicize, you can change fonts, you can add links, you can insert images. For example, if I wanted to insert an image here, I would just click on the little image icon here. Click here. And usually I keep all the images in a folder called contents. And we'll just put in the PubSite logo. And you should usually put in some alternative text for accessibility, and maybe put in a little horizontal spacing so it's not right up against the text. Click OK. Oops, meant to make that align left. Click OK. And there you've added an image. Okay, so that's how you just basically add the author photo and bio. The next thing for the author is the social links. And again, we kind of keep this all together, very easy to use. And here, let me just show you. You'll see here the follow me buttons for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. That's how, the way you get them there is right here. You just go to your, for example, Facebook page and copy the URL, come back and paste it in. So I'm going to copy this and say this was my Goodreads URL. I paste that in there, click update author. And now when I come back, watch here, and you'll see now Goodreads is there also. It's that easy to add the buttons. They are designed with the site, so they will match whatever color scheme you have. Okay, so that is the social links. And then audio and video. We always recommend that you use a service like YouTube or Vimeo for any, and SoundCloud for audio, for any video and audio, for two reasons. First of all, it makes it much easier to put it on your website. And second of all, it's good for discoverability. People can possibly find you there, searching your name or by topic or whatever. So we definitely encourage that. They also, if there needs to be any file conversion or resizing, they automatically do that, which also makes life a lot easier. And the way you do this is, for example, oops, sorry about that. For example, say you wanted to have this video on your website. This is on YouTube. You just go to share, then click on embed. You don't want just the link, that'll just link to it. You want the embed, which then embeds the video on your page and pulls it in from YouTube. So you click there and this comes up, you copy it. And then, well, this is what it is, but if this was empty, you would just paste that in, click update author. And then when you go to the author's page, there's the video down here. So that's how you add video. And then we also have, and what I'm going to do, I'll show you what it looks like first, so you can get an idea. My internet connection's unstable, interesting. Okay, this is what it'll look like when you're done. So let's go take a look at how you do it. So for example, I added this event for our demo, which is today's, and again, to add a new one, it's the same form. You just fill it out. But let me show you one that's been filled out. You put in the name. If you put in a link to it, if the event is on a website somewhere, if it's a bookstore or an online event, put in the link, put in the date, time, and this is usually set up here, these last two for physical addresses, because that was our previous life when there would be appearances at bookstores or libraries or wherever. But essentially you can put anything you want in these two. And then you put in a description. So this is, then it looks like here, and this is the event. And because we put in the link, this is a live link right here. So if you click on that, it will go to this page. Another nice thing about this is all recent appearances are obviously things in the past. So what this page will do is, as soon as this date passes, which will be tomorrow, this will automatically drop down to recent appearances. You don't have to go in and move it, which is a really handy thing, especially if you're in a busy season where you're doing a number of events. It's very nice to have that organized and done automatically for you. Okay, so that's pretty much the author there, except for another key thing. Over here we have edit blog. There's a built-in blog in PubSite, and it's here and not with the other author items, because if you have multiple authors, each author would have their own blog under their name. So click edit blog. And again, to add a blog article or post, it's very, it's again, like working in Microsoft Word, very simple. You can cut and paste or type, put in the date and title. And you if you've ever used a blog on WordPress, you can set up any categories you want to set up and have pages that just show those blogs. So let's go to the list and we'll just take one here, show one that's been completed. And again, it's just like the other ones with the, like the author by, you can insert graphics if you want, put in links, bold, italics, and so forth. You should always fill in this, the page title, the link to it, and a short description. That's for search engine optimization. That'll help you in the rankings. Okay, so that's pretty much how you add an author. And so then when you go to the author, the photo will appear over here. Here is the full bio. Here's the graphic that we added and the video that we added. If you want to, you can also have this author's events appear down at the bottom too. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next tab, titles, products. And again, this is very similar in how you add the content. With a book, there's obviously a lot more. So it's, again, oh, sorry, one other thing. Let me jump back here. For the blogs, we have a feature where you can import WordPress posts. So if you have an existing WordPress blog, in the menu of the WordPress, under Tools is an export function. And you can export your posts and it will export to a file that you can then bring here and click on here, choose the file and import the blogs. And we've done this many, many times with as many as 150 blog posts, and it worked very well. And it imports the images also. Okay, so books, here we go. I'm going to go into one here that has been fully filled out. You start off obviously by putting in the title, price. If you don't want a price to display, which many authors don't, because a retail price is generally higher than what it's selling for online. If you put a 0, the price will not display. Put in the ISBN or any SKU identifier, doesn't have to be an ISBN. Then you can also with books, you can set up subject categories, and I'll show you that. They will display on their own pages. And you can add, as you see here, you can add a book to multiple categories. Excuse me 1 second, I'm going to close my window. The recycling truck is right outside. Okay, so you enter that and then book details. These are, being that this is all about books, PubSite, these are all book standard fields. These would match up with any distributor, publisher. This matches up. I think this almost matches up exactly with, for example, Ingram Spark. So you can fill all this in. You don't have to use any of it, or you can use all of it. It's up to you, series, edition, and so forth. For binding, when entering the book on PubSite, you can enter each binding separately. So you have, paperback, hardcover, ebook, audiobook, and have them all separate and listed separately. Most authors will just enter it once and then put in something like this in the binding. Because as you probably know, and we found out that if you go to, for example, Amazon to buy a book, when you get to that book's page, you then choose the format you want, whether it's paperback or audiobook or ebook or whatever. So you can probably just do this and enter your title once. Pub date is kind of important because on pages where there's a lot of books displayed, the default ordering is in descending pub date, so the newest ones are at top. So if you don't put in the date, that can't really function well. Then we move on to descriptions. This is just like the short bio and long bio for the author. Images, this is essentially the book cover. Just click on here. And it's the same thing. You can either drag it in from your desktop, or you can go find it on your computer and bring it in, double click on it, and it will appear. Okay, SEO, I won't get into this too much, but you should fill it out. It's very nice that in PubSite here that we prompt you to do the basic SEO, which is mostly what you need. You need the page title, keywords, and a short description. There are many online resources on exactly how to do this, what's the optimal word or character length of these. That's kind of beyond the scope of this presentation, but it's important enough that you should do it. The most important one is probably the page title to do. Additional settings, that's for e-commerce, which we're not going to get into much here, so I'll skip over that one. And then purchase links. These work, this is bookshop.org, missing, but this works the same as the follow me buttons for the author's social media. So you come here and to add buttons, let's go to this book online. This one has a lot here that we've put in. To add any of these buttons, you can just copy and paste the URL again. These all look the same because they're not accurate, but you obviously, but you can have an Amazon one, you can have a Kindle one, BNN and Nook. And we also have, for our Canadian fans there, Indigo, Kobo, a couple of independents, Audible, and then we have some of the big ones. And then we also have some other international ones, mostly English speaking countries, Waterstones, Booktopia, and Dimux for Australia, Wordery. And then these down here are generic buttons. So for example, here's Fauzia's site, and she has changed her menu. Fauzia, where'd you put your books? Okay, anyway, here we go. Okay.
Way to keep
Fauzi,
John on his toes there.
I know.
Yeah, I'm scrambling there.
You know, I didn't know he was gonna use my site. He does that all the time. Sometimes he'll just change things around. I'm like, hey, that's my real site. It's my actual real site.
Stop moving things.
I guess this is an example of how easy it is to change PubSite.
Well, let me just, can I jump in for 2 seconds?
Sure, please do.
The reason I changed it is because I looked at my analytics and I realized that the most popular pages on my website were actually the ones in my menu now. So I simplified my menu according to data. And on PubSite, it's really easy if I do this and then go, you know what, that was silly. I think I want to put my book back in the menu. I can easily do that. But the book is on the homepage. It's in my bio. You can definitely find it on my site. But because it's been a few years now, it wasn't the button that people were clicking on. You know, they were coming to my site for the things, mostly for the free worksheet. So I thought it would be better to have the free worksheets as a top menu item. And that's why, you know, PubSite is so fun. As John can see, you know, when we did my website in WordPress, I would have to go to him or our designers and say, hey, I'm thinking of changing my menu. They would all roll their eyes because it meant redesigning the, you know, the header and all that kind of stuff. Now I just change it myself. And I think what I've heard from a lot of, especially women, I have to say, authors, that the thing that they love about PubSite is how empowering it is to be able to do anything you want on your own website. You know, you don't have to ask anybody. You don't have to ask someone to make any changes. You can change it, change your mind, you know, change it up. So this year I redesigned my website, redid my menu, and confused John clearly. And I'll see, you know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, but it's simple enough for me to revert back to something else if it doesn't work. So anyway, that was my little reason for changing it. But I love PubSite. Honestly, one of the things that I love best about it is the fact that I can change it all the time, but also because the menu is so easy to change. That's difficult in a lot of other platforms. Once you've got the design, it's hard to change that. I've changed, I think, my template probably 5 times in 2 years. So I've had a lot of fun with it. So that was my little spiel about my book. And John, if you need help with my navigating, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, and that's you know, another thing about PubSite is that, you know, you enter all that information in the back and basically in forms, and then you don't have to worry about the page layout. Okay, so you don't have to worry about where to put the book cover, how large it is, whether it's going to be, left or right, and how do you wrap text around it. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about where the buttons go, how to get them lined up so they all look similar. All that stuff is taken care of for you. And it just makes life a lot easier, because we know when people have used platforms like Wix or Squarespace and even WordPress, they struggle with that a lot, page layout. And that's something with PubSite you don't even have to think about.
Oh, I can attest to it. Having a setup like what you're displaying right here, I have lost my mind over in the past. So yes, to be able to do that so simply. I know this isn't the questions, and I know we're going to get to questions in a minute, but I've seen this question a few times now, so I just wanted to go ahead and ask it. It doesn't matter what links you use, correct? When you go into the link thing, whether you wanted to go to an affiliate link or a store in the UK or a store, whatever, like you put in the link that you wanted to go to, correct?
Like
Okay.
this Amazon button, you can put in Amazon UK.
Okay, great.
Or Amazon Germany. You can put in anything you want in these fields.
Awesome. Okay.
And then, so that's what I was jumping over here to show you, is that, for Fawzia used the generic publisher button to go to her publisher website.
Oh, perfect. So there is a place to just do a general link there.
And then for different, I don't think Fawzia can overwrite me on this one. I think if I go to books, all of her books will be there.
There we go.
And so she did add her Australia and New Zealand edition separately, because it is different. And then same here, she used the Australia, New Zealand ones, and then this publisher one goes to her Australia publisher. So yeah, you can put anything you want in there. Okay, and then audio and video. Again, this is exactly the same as the author one, but in this case, it ends up on this book's page. And again, here's the page layout. For putting in read and excerpt, since that's showing right now, essentially what you can do there is when you're in the book here, what you do is anything you put at the top of the long description will show up here, because this is the long description. So anything you put in at the very top of it will be here. Some people will put read an excerpt there. Some people will put, I think Fawzia put the link to her book's worksheets there. You can put another retailer there if we don't have a button for it. You can either put in text or an image for that retailer and link to it there. So you have a lot of things you can put in this area. So that's the audio and video. And then other additions, that is if you decide to enter each of your formats separately, this is how you would associate them together. So then if you had 4 different formats, every one of those formats, when you went to the book page, down at the bottom, it would say also available as, and it would have the other formats. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it on adding a book. Again, very simple, fill in the form.
John,
yes.
Sorry, I'm just going to give you a break on 1 second. So
Yeah.
Alexa, your community is so unique. I think I'm actually getting a workout just answering all the questions.
Well, let me tell you, we have a lot of people who are really, really working hard to build their author platforms. And we talk a lot about how important the website is for the marketing and all of that. So, I mean, but this is just such a phenomenal tool. Nancy and I have a conversation going on to the side here. Like, we're like, let's just move our entire Cat Biggie press over to PubSite, because I'm so tired of dealing with these kind of issues. And I'm sorry it took me a year to get to that decision, but we're going to do it.
But yes, I want to just say for publishers, we're pretty excited that PubSite's been out for 2 years. We already have brand names like Tom Clancy and Robin Cook, but also Reader's Digest, trade publishing.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I always feel,
this PubSite works very well for small publishers. You know, we
Awesome.
don't push that side as much, but it does. Here's the trusted media brands, they call themselves now, but this is Reader's Digest, Taste the Home and Family Handyman. This site has 200 books on it,
Wow.
roughly. And you know, here's where you can really see the power of PubSite. I know I have to move along here, but I'll just quickly say this. PubSite has a structured database in the back end. So all those little fields you fill in with title, categories, formats, and all that, each has its own database field. So you can slice and dice it any way you want and set up pages. So for any book, you know, they set up categories not only for the brands, but then by subject, okay? And then even by season. Whoops. So to put a book in all three of those categories, say a taste of home, and then you put it in cooking, and then you put it in summer 2021, are just basically clicks of the mouse. So all you do is to add, you know, these, in this site, there's these three categories. If you want to add this book to fiction also, just click there, and then it's in fiction. So it's that simple to set up category pages and rearrange books very easily.
I love it. Let me tell you, I have pulled my hair out for too many days trying to figure out things like this on my website.
And then I'll just show you, this publisher wanted all of the formats separate. So for example, if you go to this book, then down,
Oh, so cute.
oh yeah, they put in, you can put in page shots if you want, reviews, Goodreads
Oh,
reviews.
this is incredible.
And then finally, down here at the bottom, it's also available as, which is what I was
Nice.
saying before.
Yeah, it is. It's really great. And I just wanted to say with the questions, I'm answering the ones that I think don't require a lot of explanation, but some of the questions we'll have to read them to John and we can both answer them together. But I think some of them will just require a little bit of that. But I love this community and keep them coming. Thank you for your interest. We're so grateful. And, you know, we're not some big giant corporation. John and I literally have created this for you guys because we've been serving authors for all of our careers, and we feel very excited about building something that makes authors' lives easier and publishers. So
Yes.
so anyway, John, go ahead. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no problem at all. So yeah, the product categories, you can set them up here, add any ones you want. Okay, so that's pretty much how you add a book. So the next thing, now we'll move on to the next tab, which is pages and navigation. Okay, this is your menu over here. These are the pages in it. You'll see a home about Jean, books, blog, appearances, and contact, and that's what you have here. You can move it around. Say you wanted the appearances up here next to the author, just do that, click Save Changes, and now appearances are over here. It's that simple to change. Also, you can move them back and forth. So say you weren't going to have any appearances for a long time, so you didn't really want that on the menu, you just drag it over here. Again, click Save Changes, refresh, and it's gone. Most of the blue buttons, blue pages on here are automatically generated. They do specific functions. For example, the About Jean page pulls in the bios that you entered and so forth in the book cover. But then these other ones with white are just sort of standard pages. We added a lot in just as kind of examples. There are quite a few on here because we use this as the test site. But you know, you can set up a page for book clubs or whatever. To add a new page, again, it's all form-based. Put in the name, the link you want to have. Fill in, again, the SEO. You should always just fill that in. You can always come back and do it, but at a later time. But we know we don't ever do that, so you might want to do it just then. But once you add a new page, then, for example, not that one. Let's go to terms of use. These are just sample pages we set up. Once it's set up, you would just come in, click here and write in, put in whatever you want. And you can paste in. We usually advocate pasting in plain text because Microsoft Word does this thing where it'll sort of carry, there's a lot of formatting going on in Microsoft Word, kind of behind the scenes. When you cut and paste, a lot of that formatting, again, behind the scenes comes in, and then it's hard to fix sometimes. So it's often better to try to, do, for example, on here, if you go to paste, it'll say, it'll give you what to paste in, paste as plain text. And you might just want to do that. We always find it easier to put a little formatting back in than trying to get rid of Microsoft Word formatting that's embedded in it. Okay. All right, so these, again, this is basically, these are kind of wildcard ones where if you've set up categories, they will then automatically appear in the menu. This site has 3 categories and they automatically are there. As I showed you, the Reader's Digest one has about 20. It doesn't matter how many you have, they will automatically show up in the menu. And let's see, we also have, I won't go into it in detail, but we also have a photo gallery that you can use. You can add or remove photos. And again, you can just drag them in if you want to drag one in like this. And these would then be in your, it would be in your gallery. Okay, let's see. Okay, so there you have it in terms of managing your pages. And then you have your sidebar, which is optional. You do not have to use it if you don't want to. Fausia does not. So in this one we do. This is your sidebar over here. By the way, all these little tags here, you only see them when you're logged in and you can actually turn them off. No one else will see them. Here's your sidebar here. So again, you have the author photo, follow me buttons, featured book, and that's what you have here. Featured author, follow me, featured book, and mailing list.
Okay, I'm
Mailing
going
list.
to interrupt 1 second. So
Sure.
this is another thing that I would have had to in the past literally have my site completely redesigned if all of a sudden I decided I didn't want a sidebar, right? I just tried to change it this time around. So in 2021, for whatever reason, my heart's desire, I decided I didn't want to have a sidebar. It literally was a checkbox, right? And in 2 months, if I say, well, that didn't work out, I just have to check it again and it comes back. That whole process in the past or on WordPress would have literally meant redesigning the entire site 3 times. So I just wanted to say, I took out the sidebar because I just thought it looked kind of cleaner without it. But if I change my mind, I can easily put it back in. So just kind of giving you a little heads up on that.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
we have this, we call these widgets. This is a mailing list widget. And what we always recommend, which everyone should really do, is use one of the services. We generally recommend Mailchimp because you can have up to 2,000 subscribers in a free account. So that's going to get you pretty well on your way. But there's some others, Constant Contact, one called MailerLite is becoming more popular. But for example, for Mailchimp, you just click on Edit Widget. And this is similar to the YouTube thing. If you have a Mailchimp account, you go into Mailchimp, set up a list, and then you set up a form. And it's very easy to do. They have standard ones, kind of default ones you can use, or you can design your own, add as many fields as you want. And then they give you, once you're done, they give you the code, and you just come here, copy it, and paste it in. In some cases, there are 2 batches of code, so just paste one, hit enter to create a space, paste the other, but that's essentially how you do that. Same with Facebook. They give you code that will pull in your Facebook feed. Fawzia, what's the site that we have the Facebook feed on? I can't remember. But anyway, I'm sure you've seen it where someone has their Facebook feed, a little kind of rectangular box right in their website. So that's how you would do this. Just paste it in there. Oh, actually, I'll show you how to do it since the code's in there. You would paste that in there, and you would drag it over. Always click Save Changes. And now here's the Facebook feed.
Yeah, I took mine out just because I thought it looked just very cluttered, and I keep my site pretty updated. So I didn't need it for the updating function. And it just seemed like it just felt very cluttered. So again, an experiment. I decided to take it out. And if I feel like I need it back in, it's very easy for me to change my mind. So I feel like this has turned into what's happening in Fawzia's head. But yeah,
Well, you've used it a lot, so
I have. I've used it
good
and unused.
insights.
That's right. I have used and unused almost every feature. So currently, I am not using the embed social media links just because they looked messy, and I was trying to go with a cleaner look for now.
Yeah, I
So.
can't tell you how happy Fawzia was when she no longer had to rely on me to update her website.
Yes, or talk to our website, WordPress developers to say, can I change that color? And then they just went, yes, but it means we have to redesign the whole header for the whole site. So I feel like if nothing else, I'm thrilled with PubSite, so it's worth it.
Glad you guys created an entire thing to
Just-
make you happy.
That's right. That's what a
awesome.
husband is supposed to do, right? Isn't that?
Happy wife, happy life. That's what they say.
That is correct. And
Oh my
honestly,
goodness.
we use it for PubSite. We use it for our FSB Associates site, which is a PR firm. And I use it for mine. And of course, we use it for all my clients. And I mean, it's just, if no one else used it but us, it would still be worth it for us, because it's just saved us hours and hours of time, because it's so easy to use. Anyone in the company can go in and make a change, So there's no need for a webmaster as such or anything like that. So it's been really fun for us to work on it. All right.
We had a question. It's kind of interesting because I was just thinking about this. Sorry to take you away from your demo here, but I think it is before people start dropping off, I do want to talk about pricing a little bit. Someone just asked if they could opt to pay in for the year, or can you only do monthly pricing?
Yeah, currently now we only have monthly pricing.
And
eventually we'll have an annual plan, but we don't yet.
And just to recap, in case people were not here at the very beginning, it's $14.99 a month with our special link that we'll make sure is posted again. And that includes hosting, and that includes all your templates, and that includes all the features that you've just shown us.
Yes, and anything we add in the future.
And so
and that also includes support, email support.
Wow. If you've never built,
let me just show you this.
Oh, sure.
We have a help site.
Sorry.
which was also done in PubSite, but this is help topics. So you can come in here,
Nice.
And like, for example, for SEO, and you can find help for that. So, and we're almost daily adding and tweaking the site. So this is a real great support option also.
And there are lots of how-to videos in there too. So if you're actually wanting to see, snippets of how do I do this, you can actually just see that on.
Oh, that's great.
Video. And there's some that are on this page, but then there's some that are all over, and screen captures. It's a really great site. So hopefully it'll help people get the information they need.
Perfect.
All right, I'll just finish this up really quickly. Okay, so one other thing you can do is you could just add whatever you want. For example, let me just show you quickly on this one site, the Tom Clancy site. They wanted they wanted this little thing here, because now Tom Clancy died a number of years ago. So other people are writing his, oh, I should have left that there. Other people are writing his books now. They wanted this. So I just created a blank widget and added that. And while you just saw that little pop up there, let me see, I don't think it'll come up again. No, it won't. Actually, that's a quick segue. I'm going to cover one more thing. How are we doing on time? I guess we're just about out, right?
I mean, we can go over, but there's a lot of questions that people wanted to ask. So I do want to make sure we get through some of these questions.
Okay. All right. All right, then maybe we'll just leave it at that.
I think that was a great full range. And again,
Yes.
people can go in, they have 14 days to just try, have fun. Go in, try it out, see how it looks, see if you like it or not. There's no downside to it. But I think that there are a lot of questions I'm pretty sure we're going to go over. I tried to manage as much as I could. But how do we want to do that, Alexa? Do you want to just ask John those questions? Some of the ones that are left over.
Yeah, let's
to.
let's just go through. Do you want to answer do you want me to ask them, or I can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll just start going through these, and maybe some of them are repeats. So one thing that I have seen a couple of times, so I want to address this one first because this is key, is security measures. There's what type of security measures to protect from hackers, those types of things.
We have a built-in SSL certificate, which means you're using the HTTPS, which is the secure version, and you have that little lock there. So that's almost necessary now. Search engines will sometimes discriminate against you if you don't use them. So we have that, and then essentially, you have to use a good username and password. That's not easily guessable. No 1, 2, 3, 4s. But we have yet to have any problems at all with this platform.
Well, we have our own servers, and so the sites are all on one server, which is protected. So it's not that, and then it's updated. John, when's the backup? Is every day, right?
Yeah, daily.
So the backups are daily. That was one of the questions too. So it's it's as secure as nothing. You can't say anything is foolproof, but it's as secure as anything can be.
Yeah, and yeah, we do have our own dedicated server. It's not what's called shared hosting. If you get a site at like Bluehost or whatever, there could literally be thousands of other websites on that server with you doing all sorts of things. Our server is our own server, and all that's on it is PubSite.
And also, they are, it's fast because of that reason. We're not sharing it with thousands of people. It's only PubSite clients who are on there, not other people.
Yeah, that's really nice. And then, so that answered the second half of this next question, but the first question, you don't, you'll allow anyone to log in and set it up, right? The author can hire somebody to go manage their website and go in and do all that stuff. They don't have to be super involved in that. Like if they have a VA, so it just says, yeah, and they just need to purchase their URL, and then they bring that in there. Do you offer purchasing of URLs directly through PubSite? They have to go do that. They go do that. Okay.
Yeah, we recommend going with a good registrar. Like I said, GoDaddy, Network Solutions, Register.com. We usually recommend GoDaddy.
Okay. ADA compliant. Are they ADA compliant sites?
No, I have to say we are not.
Okay. At least you're honest.
Yeah, I can't claim that we are. It is to some extent, but not completely, no.
Well, and sometimes using really good SEO helps a lot of that. I know if especially for the visually impaired, if you use a button that spells out exactly what it is, or you include the link in a place that has that, and you have the tags on your images so it says what it is, some of those things can help tremendously in terms for visually impaired.
And it is on our wish list for sure. We are planning to do it. It's just it hasn't been one of the top priorities at this moment, but we will get to it.
And you've only been around for a couple years now,
Yeah,
so
2 years.
lots of things have happened in the meantime.
Yes, we've done a lot of changes. Yes.
Let's see. So we've talked about how to pull in the social media sites. We don't need to go over that again. Can you do the RSS feeds of podcast videos and things like that? Yes. And then
Yes.
you mentioned as pretty much as long as you have the code from your email provider, you can use it, right? So we use ConvertKit. We could use ConvertKit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, any embed code. So for videos,
Any embed
for mailing lists, for Google Analytics, for Goodreads reviews, anything that can.
Yeah,
that
let me
embed
just
code.
jump in here. I'll just take like 20 seconds to show you
Sure.
something here. Okay, so we've showed you basically how easy it is to come in, fill out some forms and set up a website. But it's also, there's also some power to PubSite if you want to get in under the hood, so to speak. For example, here, you can put in you can put in your own CSS because
Gotcha.
you can download your CSS file, copy what you want to change, then paste it in here and change it.
Okay.
So this, for example, I changed the font size on something. So you have that ability. Then here, custom scripts. Sometimes you'll have something like those mailing list sign up forms that are pop-ups on the home page. You can get the code for those, and those you have to come in and you paste it in here. And you're usually told, put this code in the head tag of your pages, or put this code at the bottom of your pages, and you can put it there. So you can put any sort of scripts in there. And then finally, you have full access to the HTML. I didn't want to show anybody that and scare you off, but you can go into the source code. Okay, so now you're in the HTML, so you can do whatever you want. The video code that you get from YouTube, if you want to put it on any page anywhere, you can just go into the HTML, figure out where you want it, and paste it in there, which is essentially, on this page, this is just a blank page we created. We went in and added all the videos by putting it in the HTML. So you have a lot of kind of power and flexibility beyond just setting up a basic website.
Sorry, I was answering a couple of these that I knew that
Me
I
too.
could answer in here so we can get them in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
Mary Gallagher had asked about help. And I mean, you guys already showed that you have the full help site. We already talked about the newsletter sign up and embedding that in there. Meta tags on pages for your platform. That's what you just showed, going in there and being able to add all of that stuff. Now she says Wix has a menu for this item and gives you specific fields that need to be populated. Do you do something like that?
For the meta tags?
Mhm.
Well, that's essentially what,
What you were going through on the, yeah, okay,
yeah, the SEO.
okay,
These are the meta tags.
okay, perfect,
The most important meta tags are page title, keywords, and description.
perfect. Easy enough.
Can I just ask one question that I think is worth saying? Someone just asked if they break it, can we fix it? So I just want to answer one question. First of all, yes, we'll help you. Second, I would actually like you to go try breaking it, because this was our biggest concern, is that authors are not always tech savvy. Here we are saying, do it yourself to a website. That's hard. They're used to having webmasters and website designers and stuff. PubSite is really easy to use. You might forget something, you might put it in the wrong field, but you cannot actually break it. So feel free to experiment and try different things. And if you get lost or you think something's gone wrong, send us an email through the help site. We will help you fix it. But I'd like you to go try and break it.
Fazia's challenge. You can access is the free challenge, yes, it's also, you can start on the link that you guys gave us. You can start the free trial and then it's $14.99 a month, right? So
Yeah.
go to
Trial is for everybody.
Go to womeninpublishingsummit.com/pubsite, one word, and that'll take you directly to their landing page right here. Okay, this is an interesting question because you showed us how you can import things from WordPress, but let's say for whatever reason, someone decides to leave after a time. Can you export your stuff out of PubSite?
We will. We have not set that up yet because
But no
nobody
one
has,
left.
no one has
No,
asked.
I can't imagine why you would want to. What's your
But,
Nobody has
you know,
asked
if
us to
that
leave, so-
situation came up, we can do that pretty easily. I just, you know, have my programmer do that. So don't worry about that. We'll take care of you if that
Yeah,
comes up.
if you decide to leave, we'll take care of that.
Awesome. Let's see. Co-authors, do you recommend if people are writing a book together that they have their own sites or one for the book? They're probably going to do more. Well, I mean, if you're doing more than one, I would recommend a joint site for all the books, right? What's your feeling on that?
So that's a little bit of a marketing issue. You know, I think that when if you feel like this is your only project together and you want to promote it together, that's fine. So some authors will do that where they'll create one website for the page, but then they often have their own websites as well. I always say it's better to have everything under your name instead of the title, because it's hard enough to get people to a website. And so if you're trying to get people to 3 different websites, it's going to get difficult. So I think branding wise, it would be better for that. But there are other reasons for people wanting a website for one book. And I understand that sometimes it's, you know, the information wouldn't really be appropriate on their website or something like that. So if you have to, that's fine. But my recommendation usually is to have a website under your name for sure.
This is a super interesting question because we have a lot of entrepreneurs in our audience. And the question here said, I have my own website already that's got my author tab. This seems very specific for authors. What are you recommending for people who are running businesses and a book is just part of it? If they've got coaching, mentoring services, should they stay with WordPress? Is that a better platform for that? Or is PubSite able to handle all of that?
So my site is a good example of that, which is why we were joking about my site is no longer in my menu because it's a few years old. It's not really the reason people come to my website. They come to my website because I'm a book publicist and I'm a marketer and I'm a consultant. So I use my pub site for, you know, everything. Yes, my book is on there, but it's not for my book anymore. When I launched it, it was really for my book. But now that the book is a few years old and I can't get myself to write another one, because I admire everyone who writes a lot of books. It's a lot of work. When I do my next book, which I will, that will be on the homepage and it'll say book in my tab and all of that. But for the time being, I'm just being flexible in terms of what my priorities are and what the visitors' priorities are.
Yeah,
Right.
we have quite a few authors that, you know, a book is part of what they do. And their consulting or whatever is what they do. So yeah, we have quite a number of them that do that.
And John,
you can add as many pages as you want and put anything on them that you want. So it's very flexible.
John, the $14.99, we're not putting a limit on it, right? If you are with Alexa and you're part of the Women in Publishing group, you can use that discount.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you. Is there an expiration date to that?
That's what I was trying to figure out. We haven't come up with one. Should we come up with one on the fly? See, John and Fazia run our business in real time.
Well, give people a little bit of time because some people are not able to participate live over this next week. So they have 6 months to access the content. So maybe we say 6 months when
Agreed.
Perfect. That's very generous. Thank you so much. And once you're in it, is that a lifetime value or is it for 1 year? Did you just say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the first year.
That's what you just said.
For 1 year.
Discount is for the first year only. We got to stay in business, Alexa.
Oh, yes, I hear you. I know. And that's a really, really, really lovely pricing. Okay. So I think you somewhat talked about this at the beginning when you were describing about how authors need to market from the very beginning. But Claire's question is, if I haven't been published yet and don't have much content, I think, do you have some suggestions, Fazia, for the one who is not published yet, what they could add to their site?
Sorry, Alexa, what was the question?
Oh, so she hasn't published her book yet. So she's not sure if she should go ahead and set up because she doesn't know what to put on her website yet.
Right. So my feeling with authors is that you need to have a website almost as soon as you have an idea for the book. And what you put on your website is you start with a blog. And on PubSite, you actually can have one of the templates. John, did you show the homepage layouts also? Now I feel like I've missed
No, I
that.
don't think I did.
I think a couple of people did ask how easy it is to change the layout on the homepage. And so there's a layout on the homepage that's just for your bio on top and then your blogs right
Yeah,
on there. So it's a blogging platform then. So you start off with that. And I think it's good to have that because it gives you a chance to sort of get your branding and your platform building started. Because it's going to be necessary when you have the book anyway. So the sooner you get started, the better off you'll be. That's my advice to all authors is don't wait till your book is out to start your website.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So that's good. That knocked out several of them. Can you save drafts of pages on the website? I would assume that's yes.
Yes, yes. And well, what you can do is anything that's over here will not appear on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can just sort of have both pages that you are working on, keep them on the right-hand side, and then when they're ready for publishing, you just move them over and put them in either the menu item or a sub-menu. So you can put them anywhere you want, which is one
And
of my
then
favorite features.
specifically for books, if you uncheck this, it won't display yet. So it's essentially in draft mode until you click display this item on my site. And then likewise with blogs, you can unpublish it essentially. So that then it won't show. Or if you put a future date, it won't appear until that date. So there's a number of ways of doing it. But like I said, yeah, anything on this side will not appear unless it's linked to. But also on the other hand, you can have like this welcome letter. You can have a link on another page to this one and not have it on the menu, but it's accessible.
Oh my goodness. There's so many questions. I'm trying to, do you guys have an FAQ on your website?
We do have it on the help site. There's any question they have, they can just go search for it. So there's
Okay.
lots of ways to get that information. Also, you can, reach out to us on the help site. We're manning that email, so you can definitely do that as well. And
well,
yeah,
and also I completely forgot, we have another full hour of office hours for you two on the schedule
that's right.
next week. That's just for asking questions.
That's
So
right. You'll
yes,
be fine.
yes, for conference attendees, check your schedule. I think you all are on day 3. I'm not sure, but look for the sponsor Q&A and look for PubSite, and you'll be able to just click the button to enter right into a Zoom room with John and Fazia, and you can ask all your questions for a whole hour on next week during the conference.
Yes, what a great idea. Whew, we'll do.
Because I'm like scanning through this list thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to be here forever, but that's great. So plan on joining us at the Q&A.
Yeah, go in and give PubSite a try and then come with your questions.
That's right. That's right.
Given it.
No, but the one question I will answer is someone asked, your 14 days starts whenever you go in and fill out that form. So if you fill out the form today, it'll start today. If you go in a week, it'll start a week from now, Eva. So
right. But anyone out there, if you need another week, email us and we can extend it.
From what I have found, you guys are very reasonable and very willing to work with anyone. So I think it's great. So in the interest of everyone's time, we're just going to say, come back. If you still have questions or you wanted to dig deeper into a question, come back, check the schedule for the sponsor Q&A with PubSite, and you can come spend a whole hour with them asking all of your questions.
Yes. And also a lot of marketing questions came up. Which you can get from my book or from my website. I've blogging forever and I've addressed all of these at some capacity. So definitely go get the information you need. But I look forward to talking with you all again and answering your questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Yeah,
you two so much. I love this.
yeah, just thank you for attending. We appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Well, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet for the conference, go get it. The price goes up Sunday night. womeninpublishingsummit.com. Grab your ticket. Join us over there. We have so much exciting stuff going on. It's going to be a fantastic year. And thank you to John and Fazia for being one of our sponsors this year. It really helps us run the conference better and make sure that we're delivering excellent quality to everyone. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you to your community. We're so happy to be part of the family here.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.